Hi everybody, this is Tandy Gutierrez and this is my weekly Wenomadwehappy vlog. Originally these started as what I've learned this week as my family and I are traveling for 12 months, working on the road, homeschooling, unschooling, world schooling as we go. And originally I thought I'd be bringing you all fitness and wellness things because that's what I do, right? And then it just kind of turned into what I learned because that's what's happening. A lot of this adventure is so much about parenting and the world schooling that it's such a process. And I wanted to be able to share it with you in a totally real way that I thought would be more honest than writing it out in the blog. And as I've seen, it's really useful for me to reflect on each week of what we've learned and what's changing and what's morphing and what it feels like and this process. Because as our close friends and family, we've gotten all kinds of responses, right? What are you doing? This is crazy. It's the worst idea ever for your children. Like, they need to be in school, they need in all of it, right? Everybody has an opinion and everybody has the right to that. And then other people who are like, I'm so excited to watch this and see how you do it and maybe do it myself someday. Like, I've thought about this a lot and how does this work? And my husband and I go, we don't know how it works. We just felt like it was the right time and the right ages and stages and we were in a place in life that we could. So this week is week 2 in New York, and it wasn't on the plan, it wasn't on the schedule. We're evaluating, adjusting, and kind of going where the wind blows a bit, like where it feels like it's right for us to be and what's next. And the idea of world schooling in a tiny, tiny nutshell is that there's no fixed curriculum, that the children are learning by experience and where they go and the things that they're interested in those places, that we follow that rabbit hole. There's a lot of field trips, there's a lot of museums, there's a lot of talking. We go buy books or maybe look things up online, or there's TED Talks that we supplement with things. And Milo's writing his blogs. I'm a bad mama right now because I'm the one that's supposed to get them published and just haven't done it. We've been a little busy. So he's writing a blog post every week so that he can learn to synthesize and really process his experience and then be able to share and retell that. And the major goal for Sam this year was to learn how to read, which he's doing at his own pace. So this week, what did I learn? I learned a duh this week. Total duh. That change takes time. And you would go, Tandy, you already knew that. And I said, yeah, I talk to myself sometimes. And I can hear you guys talking to me. I teach fitness and wellness, right? I teach a healing component and a self-evolving by putting the time in consistently and patiently. So I know that things take time. Even when you get someone on the mat and in the kitchen with the right foods for their body, your physical body has to have time to catch up to all the good things you're doing for it. And so this travel experience has been that. And we're back in New York and there has been this crazy full circle of reminders and endings, like the circular closure in a great way. So I came across a TED Talk video this week that I had originally watched 5 years ago when Milo was 4 and we were here in New York. And I think any parent can say, there's no perfect setup for schooling. There's not. I mean, if you have it, like, this is so amazing, God bless you. But there's no perfect scenario for anything, right? There's always a good and a bad and a balance. And I didn't really like that, but okay, that's working, and we're just gonna work with that a little bit. When we were here before, Milo was in public school. He had also done a homeschool co-op, but the public school, it was amazing teacher and amazing people and incredible community. But there was 32 kids in a classroom. That's a lot. It's a lot of noise. It's a lot of management. It's a lot of frenetic energy. And it was difficult and challenging for many reasons to me. And then I came across this TED Talk that was a 13-year-old boy. It's the second most watched TED Talk ever. You guys can go find it. Telling about his homeschooling, but he was a cool kid, and he was well-spoken and communicative and bright and was talking about, he wanted to call it hack schooling, because it sounded cooler, because people say homeschooling and everybody goes, you have no friends, you don't know how to communicate socially. Let's ditch that for number one. And I looked at it and I thought, that's Milo. That's Milo. In the best environment, right? In the right soil, anything grows. or anything can grow. It has the opportunity to grow. And I felt like he just wasn't in the best soil for him at that time. But I also thought, there's no way we can homeschool, like the schedule and me, and I had a young baby. So this child in the TED Talk was telling that he had been pulled out of school at the age of 9. He was now 13 giving this TED Talk. And so this week I came across it again, right? Grand serendipity. Milo is 9. That is the year we've decided to pull him out to try this. And we all committed to 12 months of it. And then we can, reevaluate. And I started crying as I'm watching this TED Talk video because I realized, it was 5 years later that we were doing that, and that we're trying to give that to Sam and Milo, the right soil. And it may look really weird to other people. And it may seem totally like, I would never do that. I could never do that. I can't do that. That's fine, right? We all have free will and choice in different lives. But it was something I really wanted for Milo and for Sam. Sam was tiny. So I saw this video, and they were also talking about, so I was watching it again and thinking, this is a 5-year cycle of, this was a thought and a wish and a want. And it took time and a lot of time to get here that we actually did this. And it wasn't completely cognitive. It wasn't like I had this video, this TED Talk in my mind, every day for 5 years. Some people do that. I didn't. And then thought, now we're gonna, execute on it. Everything kind of sneaks up on you, right? It's been like my healing journey with my body. I committed to the food, and I wrote the reset, and I listened to what I knew that I needed as far as workouts went. Once I felt like I had that under my belt, then I went to teach it, right? And that it took time. I definitely felt better soon, and it took 9 months to feel really good, and then it took 2 years to feel amazing, and now it's been 5 years that I've abided by the foods that work for me and the workouts that work for me, and I'm a totally different person and yet the same, right? So things take time. Things will get better as they go. So it was just a beautiful full circle of, want things, wish for things, make that to-do list and check them off and work on some teeny tiny thing every day, but also know that things take time. I have beautiful friendships and relationships here that are being reflected to me now in this moment that I prior years and days didn't understand how important they were to me and how valuable and how wonderful and how lovely. And so they take time, to make sense in our world. So this week, what did I learn? I learned that things take time, and like all things, good things may take much longer than we think. And if anybody had asked me to sit down and map out and craft what our homeschooling experience would look like it look like it does today? Probably not. No. Probably not. So the things that you want, again, cliches that you hear a lot, but the things that you want don't always look like what you thought they would, but they're perfect, right? And beautiful. And so also, I like things really fast, and I want to do things now, and I want to check things off the list, and I'm very type A and very driven. But the good stuff, it takes time, and you got to keep poking at it. And sometimes you have to set it aside and ignore it and go, I can't think about you right now. And then go back and check in with it and go, is that still what I want? Is that still working? And again, this TED Talk was just, beautifully timed because Milo's 9. There was no plan in this. It's beautiful serendipity, and it's happening exactly the way it's supposed to. So what I'm sharing with you is what I learned this week, and then saying to you that what you want will take time. Very rarely, even in manifestation and affirmations and being positive, that doesn't mean things don't drop out of the sky. You still have to work for them. You still have to do. So the things that you want in the world, either for yourself, for your family, for your community, for the world, what do you want to do for other people? They're going to take time, and they just simply don't happen overnight. Nothing good really does, Babies take time to grow. It's nearly a 10-month process. That is not overnight, right? So you and your life is not an instantaneous thing. And I'm going to say it 7,000 times, I've repeated it, but that's what I learned this week. And I look at my children and I go, after 5 months of traveling, they're starting to really get it, And so it's taken time to even slide into this. What are we doing? It changes every day. Transition is our life now, so excuses have no place. We can be tired, we can be frustrated, we still have to show up, and we still have to have an unschooling experience for the day, and we still have to take care of our bodies and ourselves, and that's it. So there can be an extra person and a guest in the house. Mommy's got to work a little bit extra or a little bit less, and we've got to morph the schedule. That's life. But the end game is the most important. Where are you going? Where do you want to go? What is the feeling of what you want there? So when I watched that video 5 years ago, I knew the feeling that I wanted for my children, for them to be explorative, to be creative, and just to be themselves and not be judged for what they're wearing or what they're eating or what their last name was, you know? So we're in a space now that we're trying to give that to them. So I never would have guessed it would have taken 5 years. It's still unfolding. And my friendships that we're circling back to took time, 20 years, for me to really understand the value of them. And I'm just feeling so very grateful this week and just trying to impart that things take time and good stuff takes time, and you just can't give up on it, and that it's sneaky and it'll come to fruition, and then you have to go, that was what I wanted, and then you go, oh, that didn't look like what I thought it was going to look like. It didn't happen how I thought it was going to happen, but it happened. So that's it. Things take time. And this blog post took a little extra time. So if you're wanting to explore food and fitness with me, mattinkitchen.com. If you want to follow my family's adventures, Wenomadwehappy.com. And that's it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.